Hello, and welcome to another episode of Straight from the Training Ground, the podcast where we share our love for the beautiful game and the people out there in their communities doing beautiful things. I'm Jay, my sidekick here, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How's it going?
Good, man. Good. So getting excited for the upcoming OVPL season. Our guest interview is a coach and co-founder of an OVPL team. So we're excited to bring everyone that. But before we get to that, Ryan, this week is a U.S. Open Cup week here in the United States. And for a lot of you out there, if you don't know what the U.S. Open Cup is, look it up. It's one of the greatest sporting events, I still say, that exists. It's been around since 1914. Ryan, I don't even know if you knew this, but it's the second longest Open Cup in any country in the world.
Second to the FA Cup?
I believe so, yes. And what that means is basically any team in the country, over 100 teams, Ryan, have a chance to enter the tournament. Obviously, there's a long qualifying process throughout the year for the lower level and amateur teams. But you have your chance, if you win, to get to the point where you can face a USL team and MLS team. And this week is the third round of the U.S. Open Cup. And there were a couple upsets where some USL teams did upset an MLS team here in the last 2 days.
Well, and it's what was interesting too, and I know you and I spoke about it, was that some of the rounds of the U.S. Open Cup were well published, promoted, and marketed. But some of them were kind of kept on the down low by some of the major league soccer teams. And I kind of have an idea and a theory about
Conspiracy theory?
I wouldn't say conspiracy theory. I'd say just a bad kind of vibe of what happened with the whole thing. And we're talking specifically about Columbus Crew, who, is it Columbus Crew? I know Cup game had 2,000 people at game, correct?
Yes, that is what the attendance said.
And why is that? Why did they only have 2,000 people at the first team game?
Well, that's a good question. And then there are other MLS teams, such as St. Louis City, who's a new team. But my theory is that St. Louis City, a team like that, and their community understands the passion and fervor about the U.S. Open Cup because they started, at the very bottom, and they've come through the U.S. Open Cup. They understand what it means to play against the big boys, or what have you. And I think some other MLS teams either just don't promote it very much, or maybe there might be a little bit of a fear factor. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they just don't seem to promote it the way that it is in other countries. And like I said, this is something that's been around since 1914 in our country. It has a great tradition, and it should be on a much higher level in terms of not only some of the MLS teams, but the media. For example, Ryan, I believe only Bleacher Report covers the Open Cup games, and they picked 8 games for this last round, which was the third round, and every other game was up to the home team. So a lot of MLS teams were streaming their game online. It wasn't even on a TV channel. It was streamed online on like a YouTube channel. And we know what kind of amateurs only stream on YouTube channels.
Exactly. No, I just think it speaks to that. It speaks to some of the companies involved who do not want to recognize other competitions that are not their competitions, but they should be recognized. And the fact that certain clubs don't want to promote it because, let's be honest, they're scared of the potential impact on their brand should they get beat by part-time semi-professionals. I just think that says a lot about some of the environment that we have to deal with in U.S. soccer. I thought that was just at the youth level, but obviously it's in the pro level too, where there's some strange decision-making going on, and it's really just not it's not a game that everybody can participate in a level playing field.
Yeah, and I will say on a positive note, there are a lot of great people through social media now who are really making a push for more coverage and more respect for the U.S. Open Cup. And there are a lot of great people out there, covering it. And they've kind of just said, hey, I'm going to go on my own, and we're going to cover it in our own way. So that is causing some great things to happen online and through social media. So a big shout out to those guys. But hopefully, here in the near future, soccer's come a long way in this country, as we talk about all the time on here. And hopefully it's just something that, gains more respect and gets more publicity through the mainstream media, sports channels, things like that.
Well,
because it really is great.
What's going to have to happen is Major League Soccer's got to acknowledge it and accept it and be
Absolutely
prepared to coexist with the U.S. Open Cup. if not partner with it. I mean, I don't know why. It just grows the game. It grows the game even at that level. I mean, to have just one club competitions basically for the top level of the professional game is a bit strange. And usually other countries have got 2, 3, 4 different competitions they can enter. You've obviously got the CONCACAF Champions League, but I think another a cup competition which is recognized and co-promoted would be fine. I think it would just benefit everybody, but they don't seem to want to do that right now.
No, I couldn't agree anymore. So, but with that, real quick, anything on your season upcoming here in the OVPL with the Highlanders? It's getting close. You'll start up here with the regular season in June.
Yeah, we got our preseason training starts where everybody reports in on the 7th of May. So that's just over a week away. So we're excited to get working with the guys.
Now, will that be media day?
Oh, media day. That has been talked about. So we'll have to see if that materializes. It may just be me and my iPhone. But we're working on that. And so it's going to be exciting to see, as always, anybody's been involved in a preseason, you bring a bunch of players together. Most of them don't know each other. And you just got to see if your recruitment paid off in terms of picking different spots and positions and people. And, I've got as a coach, you got some ideas how you want to play, or rather 2, 3, 4 options how you want to set up. And so we'll see if right at the beginning who we've got that can fit into some plans we're going to develop to go forward for the season.
Sounds good. Well, without any further ado, we'll have our interview coming up for everyone from Valhalla FC, another OVPL team. And reminder to check out our website, straightfromthetrainingground.com, where we have our merch store open now. I know you're excited, Ryan.
Whoa, look at that.
Pick out some merch, maybe some Mother's Day gifts, whatever, And but more importantly, we also have all of our episodes available on there. So we have those available on our website. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram as well. And also just a reminder to get in touch with us. Let us know if there's anyone out in your community doing great things regarding the game of soccer. And that's what we're all about here, straight from the training ground. And we're very glad to have Anders here with us from Valhalla FC. Anders, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
As you guys can tell, I'm reporting here live on location, so you'll have to bear with me. But we're glad to have you join us. And first off, just tell us a little bit about Valhalla FC, its history, and how you got involved, Anders.
Yeah, so Valhalla FC started in about 2018 or so, pretty much as a core of high school players from about 3 or 4 age groups. A lot of us had brothers, and so there was probably a core of 12 people from high school that kind of started up in Milford again. So through that, we kind of banded together with a single goal in mind, was to achieve victories in the Open Cup. Just started, and then everybody just kind of took it very seriously, started playing soccer a bunch. And from there, we just kind of expanded throughout all the leagues that everybody was starting to play in. And from there, we've kind of brought under our reach to everybody in Cincinnati who's, I suppose, a little older, not actively pursuing soccer as their main career, but again, actively pursuing it to be better because, again, like a singular mindset. If we don't have aspirations to play high soccer, then why are we even playing?
And so, how did you finish last year? What was your record and so forth?
I don't remember the record off the top of my head. To be honest,
you had some big results. Obviously, you played Fort Wayne and they made it to the championship game, but you guys held them on a tie.
We did. Yes, we did. Actually, that was a really exciting game. It was our last game of the season. And I know we were playing them and they hadn't even been scored on from what I remember. Yeah. We ended up getting 3 on them and they got 3 on us. So, yeah.
Excellent. So now, as Jay mentioned and you mentioned as well, U.S. Open Cup's kind of it's an exciting time of year. Everybody's looking at that as an option, and some teams are set up for the U.S. Open Cup and to try and make a run in that. And when's your next game in that competition? And tell us some about that.
So the U.S. Open Cup officially starts its amateur initial qualifying rounds in September, but there's several rounds of tournaments that you can enter to get further into those amateur rounds. One is the USASA National Amateur Cup, which is going to be it's actually been going on for this weekend and the next weekend as well, which we have a game against the Tauranga Lions in Michigan on April 29th at 2 p.m.
There you go. Now, if you win that, what does that do for you guys? Where does that put you?
So that advances us. It's I believe it's a 6-round tournament, and that puts us just a round further. And so we already know if we win, our next opponent will be FC Porto of Kansas. And then after that game,
go on.
Oh, sorry. Then after that game would be 1927.
Okay, so is that progression into the U.S. Open Cup, or is it the U.S. Amateur Cup separately?
It is separate as the U.S. Amateur Cup. However, the winner gets placed further into the amateur rounds of the U.S. Open Cup. So yeah, I guess so. You're guaranteed a couple of buys.
I got you.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So how are you guys looking for this year? As we know, we talk a lot on here about the OVPL. Ryan obviously is with the Highlanders. So we have some insight into that league, and it's coming up here soon. Starts around, the beginning of June. So you guys are, I'm sure, getting together here pretty soon in May. How's the team looking, and what do you look for from your team this year?
The team's actually looking really good. We've got a lot of returning players as well as some new players that we've seen in the past, but they're going to take more of a full-time approach per se. So out of the, let's say, 5 years that we've existed, I'm the most, confident about this year. It's really dependent on everybody just remaining true to their commitments. And so if we get everybody, all of our top players at all of the games, I truly believe that we can make a really far run into the tournament.
And so your squad, what does it consist of? Is there current college players in there? Is it former collegiate players? Or are the guys that have basically didn't even play college just continue to play all through?
Again, so a little bit of slew of everything. I'll start with myself. I played soccer all growing up throughout my entire life. Then didn't pursue it in college at all. I pursued, I suppose you'd say, academics as much as, whatever. And then, after I graduated college, kind of realized I'd grown into my body a lot more. Realized, obviously I love soccer. Started playing again. I'm like, I'm too good for this. I want to pursue this with some sort of a passion. And so trying to find like-minded people like that. So right now the team actually consists of a couple of people like me, definitely a lot of people that have played in college, and then as well as some current college players. And then the ones I'm most excited about are the people that are just graduating college and looking to make that next leap into, I suppose, more of a paid profession. And then again, coming from where I came from, I believe the best way to make that jump, not playing in college, not having any of that experience, was to make a run in the Open Cup and beat a professional team. Therefore, I deserve to be a professional.
There you go. Well, I want to go back to what you said earlier about, you kind of started to allude to some of the difficulties about how a lot of your season depends on, the consistency of your roster, things like that. So for people that aren't familiar with the OVPL that might watch this or listen to it, can you explain, what you and Ryan also, some of the difficulties that you guys deal with that maybe people aren't familiar with?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I can definitely speak to my team. We try and keep it lean. So people that come up, they're going to play. But that kind of bites us in the butt. Obviously, we have a lot of good people that'll play in Cincinnati, but when it comes to travel, it's just, you don't get the same results.
Well, and tell people, why is that? If they don't know about the OVPL, I mean, the distance, you have to do it all, like you said, on your own. You have to find a bus or transportation, right?
Yes. So we've been fortunate enough to kind of have a team bus take us to our away games for the past 2 seasons. So we've been really fortunate in that aspect. But even so, it comes with its own challenges. A lot of people will find it difficult to make a whole day's trip, to play a 90-minute soccer game. And it's really not even that bad, really, because some of the places are only 2 hours away, 3 hours away.
Yeah.
And that's what's actually pretty awesome about the OVPL. You're allowed to not really travel that far, and play whole different categories of soccer and people from different cities.
Ryan,
Yeah.
you can allude to those difficulties, yes?
Yeah, I think he also brings up one good thing there is that you try and keep it lean. I mean, we usually do a 22 to 24 man roster, and you think, okay, that's a lot. There's only 11 on the field, but a lot of college programs will run 30, 40, 50 people plus rosters. So we like to make sure guys have got an opportunity to get opportunities in the field at some time, and that's I think that's the sweet spot. The closer you shave it down, I mean, as you said, it's great because you get guys really bought in because they know they're going to get on the field. But it's always that challenge if people are missing. So it's just a tightrope you walk. I understand it completely.
Yeah, it's something that I'm really learning a lot about managing a team because, as I said, I've never done it. So this is my first approach at it, and I've been very fortunate in all the guys that have, I'll just say, come around me, and the kind of I guess brand that I've kind of been preaching is the fact that, like, if we put our minds to it, I mean, I guess everybody would kind of agree with this, but put our minds to it, you can do anything. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Any given Sunday.
That's what, the Open Cup is all about. Last night and the night before wrapped up the third round of the Open Cup. And, again, if you don't know what the U.S. Open Cup is, I challenge you to go look those things up for anyone watching this. It's been around since, I believe, 1914, and a lot of people still don't even understand what it is. But it's great for people like you, Anders, and your team that gives you a shot, like you said, out there against anybody. And, you never know. For 90 minutes, one night, you never know what you might accomplish. There were a couple upsets last night where MLS sides got upset, by non-MLS sides. So, that's kind of what it's all about. Last question for me. Where would you like to see Valhalla FC a few years down the road? In a perfect world, what would you like to see from your club?
Okay, so in a perfect world, I would love to see, honestly, I would like to see next from our club is to get a training ground and then start to expand it into more of I'd say like a program. So we're in Milford, Ohio, and we've got FC Cincinnati is also, their training grounds are also literally in Milford, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of our team members work for FCC every single day. So we've got some, like, I wouldn't say like insight into training programs, but it's very interesting, the whole kind of structure and everything around it, how you can really just grow with the players throughout a program. So that's what I would really like to see Valhalla grow to, as well as like keeping a sole focus on a senior team. And hopefully we'll be able to start competing with, in a dream world, FCC's second team or third team in a few years, with our own training ground, which, again, dream. That's a dream.
Hey, that's all right. That's what it's all about. Well, again, thanks, Anders, for joining us from Valhalla FC. Best of luck to you and your team. They have a big game Saturday, so best of luck to you. And we wish you the best as you move forward through the OVPL season this summer. And everyone out there, check out the OVPL, look them up online, and support a local team near you. Visit our new partners, UnoZero at unozero.com, where classic beauty and quality meet modern design and elegance for football boots and more. Join our official partners at Dutig Brand FC, where they create quality products to make your lives easier as coaches. Visit our partners at TractionSocks.com for performance grip socks created for all athletes.